I am the a co-owner of a residential housing company that is an on-your-lot builder. We have about 25 employees, and our top-line revenue for 2023 was $26 million. And we are in the beginning stages of being in the legacy stage. And
good.
We don't. We feel like we're probably 5 or 6 years away from trying to pull away from the business, and we don't have any obvious choices for to take over the entire company. We realize that someone will have to have some management help, and we've got 2 or 3 key employees that are really shown a lot of leadership and growth, and we're trying to figure out the best way to include them in some profit sharing to help continue to motivate them in their growth.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you said you had 26 team members.
25.
25, and 2 of them are what you're considering being eligible for this.
Yeah, we have kind of 3 locations throughout eastern South Carolina, coastal South Carolina, and we have one location where kind of the sales manager and our superintendent have really shown a lot of growth and are at least showing potential that we could not be involved in the day-to-day operations of at least that one location.
Mm-hmm. So you think about dividing the profits up by location and sharing them, or sharing them across the whole thing?
Well, we have the profits divided up by location anyway,
mm-hmm.
and then so we know what our profit is each.
Yeah.
We actually have it divided up in 2 ways at each location, because we actually have our company set up as a construction company and a sales team. So our construction company gives the cost of each project to the sales team, and then the sales team gets paid and shows a profit on whatever they sell it over that construction cost, and then the construction team gets paid on the profit that they create by building it for less than what they told the sales team.
Okay, so the price they're giving them includes a margin, and then the sales team's marking it up again and making theirs, and you're running that as 2 separate profit centers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So how are you thinking about paying the team member, the senior team member that's leading a location that has those 2 different things in it?
Well, I know that, they're very numbers oriented, so we want it to be some, because I've heard you talk about profit sharing in the past and the problems that you've had, and you kind of went back and sort of made it a more of a thing that could be changed moving in time. But we also want it to be some concrete numbers that we can show them. So our thinking was to pay these 2 members off of our construction profit, but basing them getting this additional bonus off of this construction profit, it would also be based on them hitting some sales goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's messy. It's messy because they also are managing the sales team if they're managing the whole area, right?
Right, yeah. They're managing their sales team and basically the sales office.
Yeah.
And so we want to take that.
And they're managing the building team. They're building the whole location, right? Both streams of income.
Right.
Well, pay them off of both streams of income then.
Right. Okay.
Like that's how you get paid.
Right. Yes.
You can make them a partner without giving them stock.
Uh-huh.
If they were a partner and as a general partner of that location or an operating partner at that location, they got X percentage of the bottom line of those 2 income streams, maybe different percentages for the 2 different income streams. I don't care. It might be 3% on one, 5% on the other. It might be 22%. I don't know, whatever it is to get them back to their income level. But you kind of got to back into it to get them to at least where they are now, right?
Right.
And so what does the guy at one of the locations make now, as an example?
They're both able to. They're both right around that 150 a year mark.
Okay, and what percentage? Okay, and if I took the sales profit at that location and the builder profit at that location, what would those two things add up to?
As far as percentage?
No, total dollars.
The total. Okay. I believe last year at this particular one, it was like about 1.5.
Okay, so right now they're making 1%.
Right.
And
right,
so
yeah.
if you gave them 1.5% of the bottom line, and they could see the entire P&L and had some say so over the entire P&L, meaning they can create the revenue and they can help manage the expenses and keep them down, which they're probably already doing. They're running that location. Then they are controlling their own income.
Okay.
And they get a raise.
You don't think that? My only concern that we had with that was, sometimes people can get, we're doing all of this and we're getting this 1.5%, and y'all are just kind of watching us do it. And basically,
there's that part where I own it.
Do what?
There's that part where I'm the owner. You
are right there.
I mean, come on. I mean, if you want to go own something, go own something. But this is right now you're making 150. I'm offering you 2.25 on percentages, but part of that is you have to have the emotional maturity to realize you're going to be living off of 1.5% of the net profit for now. We might make it more later, but 1.5% of the net profit gives you a raise, dude. And so the first thing you need to be doing is smiling.
Okay.
And if the guy doesn't have the maturity to run the numbers and see his part in the numbers, then maybe that's not the answer.
Right. So it sounds like we were trying to make it probably too difficult in order to not show them the full books.
Well, if you want them to run something for profit, they got to see the books.
Right. Okay.
So I've got 14 people on our operating board here. They all are paid off the bottom line of the whole company. Everything at Ramsey goes into a pot eventually. It's split up all over the place, but eventually it ends up, landing in my pocket, right? And so once it comes down through all the different gyrations and everything. So they get paid off the same line I get paid off of. And it's not a huge percentage, but it's a huge amount of money.
Sure. Okay.
And they see every detail of the books. Their job is to help me run this large and complicated business and keep all the dadgum toggles toggling, right?
Right.
And so, because if I'm going to call someone if they're at the level where I might want to have actually shared ownership with them, then I need to at least be able to share the books with them.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they're not, then they're not. That's okay too, because not everybody can make it, can be on my operating board, because some of them can't handle looking at the numbers and going, well, that's only what I make. Yeah, well, you weren't here when I started it either. And you weren't here in those 16-hour days before I lost my hair and all that stuff. There's all that thing. So it's a good question. It's very interesting. And it might not be that that's the right model for y'all. You may want to just say, we're going to pay you off of this, and you just start showing certain numbers. I don't care what it is that create the same situation, but I still want them motivated to run the business, keep expenses down and revenues up. That's running the business from an accounting standpoint. I want to make a profit, and that's keeping expenses down, revenues up in your area. If you're not doing that, you don't get to be here. If that's your job. I mean, your job is keep expenses down, revenues up, and everything that entails. That means all kinds of different things, but that's what it comes down to. And that's what I have to do. If I don't do my job, I get to go home because we're broke, So that's how the whole thing unfolds. So, I think, what I would encourage you to do is, number one, nothing's in stone forever. Number two, I have them sign non-disclosures and non-competes if they're going to be at that level. And if they sign those two things, then we can talk about all kinds of stuff.